Okay. All right. Here's the intro.
You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
Well, howdy, folks. You have arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast. My name is Steve. I'm thrilled to be here. If you have not started your taxes yet, you're late. This is Soul Gravy. He's down below.
Apparently, I brought the sirens with me too. I don't know if you can hear them through the microphone, but
Good.
that's all right.
How are you, sir?
I'm beating down the door. I'm I'm doing good. How are you? I got my Chiefs swag on for the draft coming up this week.
Very exciting.
Plus,
Who
I
are the
had to pick a
Chiefs?
shirt before as I come into work. So that's really all the thought that I just figured I'd make up an excuse.
Where are the Chiefs picking? Do we know?
I have no idea, to be honest.
All right. What's an area of need?
Definitely offensive line. I don't know if they'll draft that or not because every time Mahomes gets says hike, he's running for his life. So
Right, for
I
sure.
would say that would be a good place to start. Honestly, I haven't been as into it as I normally am. I'm usually in the weeds of it all by now, but I'm a little late to the party this year.
Understandable. Folks, tune in on Thursday. Soul Gravy will be hosting a live draft party. And he can give you all the updates.
Fussing about every single draft pick about how terrible it was.
Well, anyway, glad you're here tonight. I'm fired up to be here. I'm fired up because we have Jarret Forrester on. How are you, sir?
Doing great. How about y'all?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Excited to get to chat with you a little bit, and I'm going to learn a little bit more about you. I'm going to ask you some random questions. Beyond that, we're going to hand it off to you to get started. So if you could take just a couple minutes and give us a little bit of your backstory, and then we'll get into it.
All right, yeah, cool. Well, like I said, my name's Jarret Forrester. I'm a country and Americana singer-songwriter based out of Greenville, South Carolina. But I travel and tour around the country every year. I've pretty much averaged around 220 to 240 shows a year, I believe, for like the past 5 years. And just really just grinding it out and try to go anywhere and everywhere of people who will have me. I've been fortunate. I put out three full length records and 2 EPs. I want to say. I think that's the number by now. So just trying to do everything I can. Road dogging as much as possible, like a lot of my heroes did and still do. And just traveling around.
Well, fantastic. 220 to 240 shows a year. That is nuts. I mean, I'm not calling you nuts. I'm just saying that's kind of that's a tough play.
You have to be insane to try it. I mean, and the thing is I'll get around some friends and like they'll be doing. I mean, they're like the Nashville guys, like Tanner. I mean, he's doing like 10 shows a week, 8 shows a week. So I mean, you start doing that math, and it's just like, dude,
yeah,
I don't see how you can sing after this, like those Broadway cats. But yeah, no, I mean, it's fun. You get a lot of stuff. You get to see a whole lot of nothing as well. Like I've been fortunate and got to check off different baseball stadiums and different landmarks on tour. But I've also stayed somewhere where I had to drive 45 minutes to an hour to go shower at Planet Fitness. So, you kind of gotta pick and choose. No, I mean it's fun life.
Awesome. Well, we'll get into that a little bit more. We invite you in and put the pressure on you to tell your story, and then we tell you to be quiet for a little bit. So we're gonna do a section we call "Why Are They Famous?" This is the Greenville, South Carolina version.
If you know any of these people, feel free to chime in.
Yes, if you haven't figured it out already, we take the hometown of the guest, and we quiz Soul Gravy on famous folks from your hometown. Good news is, Soul Gravy, we've done Greenville before, so this should help.
Not that I you think I'm going to remember this. It's like
I
a whole
don't.
new day.
I don't
I
have.
got one that I'll add.
Okay.
I got one that I'll add if we've done Greenville before.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Fire away. We'll go ahead and start quizzing Gravy right now.
All right.
So
Jarret,
me
go
first?
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're
All
the
right.
guest.
What famous country singer from the 90s who had multiple hits, like this wasn't a one-hit wonder, came from the Greenville County area? Greer, to be more specific, which is just, right outside of Greenville. But he had a fantastic career throughout the 90s and early 2000s. Fun fact, he also went to the same high school I did.
All right. Can I ask one qualifying question?
All right.
Yeah, I need a couple.
Is he highly patriotic?
Yes.
Okay, I know it is.
Highly patriotic. Okay.
Highly patriotic from the. I mean, the first one that came to mind would be Trace Atkins, but I don't know where he's not from there. Then there's
This guy's way shorter.
Way shorter. Way shorter.
Well, I'll let you go ahead.
Give me another hint. Give me.
Are you from? He's got Citra wine at a winery right outside of Nashville. That there's a lot of billboards of. Never had his wine, but I know that he has it.
It's probably delicious.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Let's go more about the hints about the music that would have been out in the late '90s, early 2000s. What?
Well, I mean, he's got a beautiful mustache, like the salt and pepper.
Are you talking about Aaron Tippin?
Yep.
Why did I get Aaron Tippin from a mustache? That's
because it's a solid mustache.
Ain't nothing wrong with the radio.
There's not a lot of them back then, right? There's not a ton of them.
Yeah.
But,
well,
okay.
you're kind of one for
yeah,
one.
Yeah, well, that was.
I mean, that's my town trivia that I can throw on there.
My favorite song of his was my Blue Angel. I love it.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
He had some bangers for sure. All right, Soul Gravy, here we go. Good luck again. I went back and asked the interns to look up the shows for our previous South Carolina guests, and for those of y'all that are wondering, Alex Rogers, Cody Gentry, Christopher Seymour, and Justin Corley, all previous guests from South Carolina. So number 5. All right, Soul Gravy. Daniel Bard.
I don't remember. I don't think I know.
He's an infielder for the Boston Red Sox and Colorado Rockies. Relatively recent, so you get a pass because I know baseball's not getting watched as much at your
I've
place.
been watching a lot more this year. But it doesn't help for
Well, he stopped playing in 23, so that's not going to help.
I got you.
All right, next up, Peebo Bryson.
I'm not familiar.
I don't remember that one, do you?
Mm-mm.
Adult contemporary singer. Have you ever heard A Whole New World? It was in Aladdin.
Yeah.
That was his.
Okay.
He did Beauty and the Beast.
I thought Aladdin was all Alan Menken.
Well, here's something even more.
And I could be wrong. I'm just a Disney nerd. So now I want to know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back and listen to Peebo, but I found this even more interesting. He still has 5 million monthly listeners, and his career was in the 80s and 90s mostly, I would say. So shout out to Peebo.
All right.
From Greenville. All right, Dexter Clinkscale. That's a fun name to say.
Yeah, I still don't know who that is though.
He was a defensive back for the Cowboys and the Colts.
Okay.
Probably most known for being on some of those Cowboys teams. He was pretty good.
Gotcha.
All right, here you go. We're gonna get you back on track. His nickname is the Big Ticket.
The Big Ticket was Frank Thomas. No.
Basketball. Different player.
Different ticket. What was he? The Big Hurt. He was the Big Hurt.
He was the Big Hurt.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all right. You
What
got
is the
half.
ticket? What time period are we talking?
He would have been in the 2000s.
Big ticket.
The aughts, if you will.
Odds. Huh?
So like the 2000, the
Oh,
aughts.
okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you. Okay.
He played for Minnesota most of his career. Power forward, one of the best ones to ever do
Oh,
it.
he was it's Kevin Garnett.
That's right. Good job. So
I don't know why I didn't know that.
You are on the board with your second one. All right. You're going to get some of these, I think.
Okay.
But not this one. Jesse Hughes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not
He is
familiar.
a rock musician. He has a band called Eagles of Death Metal.
Okay.
I don't know. You might be familiar with them. I'm not sure what your
definitely.
death metal score is, but
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Jackson.
I'm familiar with Jesse Jackson. Yeah,
What,
he's got a lot of
what's he
titles to
famous
matches.
for?
A bunch of stuff. He was a civil rights activist and was in Memphis the day that Martin Luther King was not here anymore. And yeah, a lot of stuff like that.
Pretty sure he ran for president, I think.
Yeah, I believe
I think he did it
that's
multiple
true
times.
as well.
Yeah. All right.
I think he ran multiple times. Yeah.
This one, if I just asked the regular name, I think you'd get it, but we're going to give you the full name because I feel like this will help. Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah, he was a baseball player. I'm trying to remember. I think the White Sox.
Yes. Also known as the Black Sox because they were
Yeah, that
involved
was
in cheating.
he was
Who
in
knows? He
that-
actually
They have a home music for one of our minor league teams.
What's that? Sorry.
I said they have a whole museum for him right outside the stadium of the Greenville minor league team.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and this is a rabbit hole that probably nobody wants to go down, but I'm going to go down it. He was accused of being part of that and penalized or whatever for being part of that Black Sox team, but his stats in the World Series that they got in trouble for were actually better than his regular season stats. So I'm not sure he cheated, but whatever, who might have said?
Exactly.
All right.
It's also the team that's involved in or in the movie Field of Dreams. If anybody doesn't watch baseball but knows that movie, right?
Yeah, there you go. Great cultural reference there, Soul Gravy.
Thank you.
Bob Jones.
I probably know a
Not
Bob
to be
Jones,
confused with
but
Mike Jones.
yeah.
Who?
I mean, I'm probably know a Bob Jones or Robert Jones, but I don't know.
I'll answer this one. He
Go
was
ahead.
a cult leader. He was a cult leader. They call it
That
a
sounds
religious university, but it's
sounds-
a cult.
Sounds fun.
Well, we're going to take
I know
your
more people
expertise
who've
on
been
that.
kicked out of Bob Jones. I know more people who have been kicked out of Bob Jones than I do who have graduated from Bob Jones.
Okay. All right. Nice. Shout out to Bob Jones and his thing that he's got going on. Or I guess he's probably not with us. He's probably the son is probably running it now,
No.
right? Yeah. Okay.
There ain't no telling. People like me aren't allowed on the campus.
I'm right there with you. All right, Marcus King, Soul Gravy.
Okay, yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Pick it a little bit.
Yeah, he's a musician that may he might pop off at some point in time if
Might have some potential.
Mhm.
We're gonna stay in that lane, specifically Nikki Lane.
Okay, I'm familiar with Nikki Lane and her music as well. She's I kind of feel like she's underrated in a lot of circles, and then you listen to guys like Brent Cobb and all kinds of people that put her way high up on
For sure.
the pole. So.
Super talented. She left. I heard her tell this story. She left. I think she left home at 16. Left South Carolina, and I don't think ever to return based upon her story. So, for whatever that's worth, we'll try to get her on the podcast. Alrighty.
So why don't you like South Carolina?
I don't know. I think it was a.
I understand.
I
That
don't
was
want to
just a
speak on
joke.
family
Just a
issues,
joke.
but
Just a
could have
joke.
been. Yeah. Yep. All right. Last one is Joel Roberts Poinsett.
Mm-mm.
It'll be a
No.
tough one unless you really pay attention to that last name.
Mm-mm.
Poinsett.
Yeah. I still don't know.
This is the man who the poinsettia is named after.
I was thinking that he had something to do with with it, but or the plant. But
Well,
anyway,
there it is, folks. So I got you down with 5, maybe 6. 50% is pretty good.
Sure, yeah.
That's, I mean, if you're playing baseball, you're an all-star, probably in the Hall of Fame.
If you're in basketball, you're making the playoffs. So
That's right.
there you go.
All right, Jarret. Thanks for letting us do our little thing there. The rest of the night's going to be about you.
Good, man.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
We start you off with the strangest question of the evening, and then finish you with the strangest question as well. But this question is called the pie question. We're going to give you a musical pie. We're going to divide it up into 4 sections. Those 4 sections include songwriting, recording, performing, and then the 4th piece of pie is everything you signed up to be a musician for. Changing tires, doing podcasts, social media, booking, all those other pieces that are not really associated directly with the first 3 pieces. So the question for you is, which one of those pieces of pie is home for you?
The business side of everything is one of my strong suits. I've developed a system of posting and certain ways of booking and stuff like that I'm stronger in that. I'm stronger in selling myself when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I think that's one of the most important things if you want to do music for a living. Yeah, you want to have good songs. You want to play right. That's all fine and dandy.
Sure.
But that's this much of this business, because if you write great songs and nobody hears them, it's you wrote a really cool song for your friends to hear. And so I would, that's a bigger piece of the pie to me as far as importance. I think recording is honestly one of the lowest, um, as far as me. And I'll give you a great example. Zach Bryan was just in Charlotte Saturday. My fiance and her friends were there. They played he played the Carolina Panthers Stadium. His first 2 or 3 records, I know at least his first and maybe even his second, it was him, a friend with a laptop, and they rented an Airbnb and they put mattresses everywhere. And he just sat there and played. And just, and I'm not the biggest fan of him, but not because I have anything against him. It's just not what I'm into.
Yep.
But if you listen to a lot of his albums, they are elementary when it comes to production and everything else. And it's, so I mean, I think that's the thing too. Just if you're just putting it out, and as long as it's listenable, people dig it. I mean, it might not put you on the Billboard charts, but as far as getting traction and getting ears, it's not as important to have this polished sound anymore. Songwriting, I love to write. I wish that I wrote more. I've been trying to work more on writing because I'm trying to write a new record this year. And really try to kind of put songs for my friends and then write some new ones. And so, I mean, it's important to me, but it's not as much my strong suit as the business side is. And then forgive me, what was the other part?
Performance.
What was the other part?
Performance.
To me, yeah. So to me, performance is another big part for me, because I feel like I can say for myself, if you sit down and listen to albums, you'd be like, oh, this guy's got some all right songs. He's a decent singer. If you come to my shows where I'm cracking jokes and talking and, doing different stuff, I feel like you get a better sense of who I am as a musician. And the performance side has always been way easier for me than the writing side by far.
Well, that's great. You gave us a ton
So
of
if I had
places.
to, if I had to rank them by importance, it would probably be business, the performance, the writing, the recording.
Okay, that works. You gave us a ton to work off there. So I want to talk about crowd work. It sounds like that's something you're
Yeah.
super comfortable with. Is that something that was?
If they'll look at me, yeah, they'll look at me. They'll play with me. I'll play right back. And it started very on how my dad is. My dad, and not a performer, but like he's just super quick witted. And growing up, and I got picked on a lot coming up and stuff for different stuff, whether it was in school or at home or whatever. And so you have to be able just to throw it back. You have to be able just to do whatever. And there's people who have a great time with it. There's people that like you can make uncomfortable with it, but it's people you want to make uncomfortable because they're bothering you. You know what I mean? So it's like
Sure.
I'm either gonna make you laugh or you're going to leave pissed off at me.
Now I see why you and Ray
Either way, I
Scott.
don't care.
Now I see why you and Ray Scott and
Oh,
Ward are friends, right?
oh yeah, it's shit. I like Ward. Oh, I wish I got to hang out with Ward. I tell Ray all the time. I was like, how long do I have to hang out with you till I can like be friends with Ward? I was like, because you're cool and all. I was like, but like he's and I messed with. He said he was in my band because Ward Davis wasn't Ray Scott's band,
Yeah.
but in the early days. But I was like, where are we now? I was like, but yeah, no. Yeah, no, yeah. It's always something that's came easy to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jarret. This is a shameless plug, but if you want to hang out with Ward, come show up on the 5th of May. He's going to be here. So, yeah.
Hell
That'll be
yeah.
fun.
Where am I? I can see my calendar.
Mayo, maybe.
So any other day I would have done it, but I'm literally looking at my calendar right now, and it's on May. I'm seeing the Eagles at Brave Stadium that night.
Well,
That's
I'll tell Ward.
acceptable.
So
That's acceptable.
yeah. I mean, it's Eagles and Tedeschi trucks at Truist Park. So I gotta.
That'll be pretty good. I think he would understand. All right. So another question. You talked a little bit about writing. Are you the kind of person that kind of likes to keep your writing to yourself, or are you out doing co-writing, or kind of what does that look like for you?
I'm open to anything. So one of my favorite songs on this record that I put out, the Postcards and Payphones album, there was a song on there written by myself and Chance Stanley, who's one of my best friends. And so I'm kind of open to anything. I wish I could tell you that I was the kind of guy that could wake up every day, sit at a desk, and pump out a song a day or pump out 2 or 3 songs a week. It's just not who I am. I'm a thing of notes in my phone, and there's just times where like something will strike me. Like my newest song that I finished up, I literally had a conversation with my fiance about a topic, and then I was playing this bar, and the bar was dead, and I was still just sitting in the corner just messing around, and I started playing this pattern, and I was like, huh. And I was like, I'm gonna take a break, and I went and sat in the corner of the stage, and like 30 minutes later I had the whole song written. And that's how a lot of the stuff happens. That's how a lot of the stuff happens. I've talked to Ray, and me and Ray are working on some stuff. We have some different stuff we're going to try to do together. But I'm open to anything. There's very few times that I try to let pride and ego get in my way when it comes to anything musically. And I think a lot of it comes from something that my dad told me, and my dad did pest control. He's done pest control for almost 30 years. But his thing always was, I missed out on a lot of money because I didn't take the lunch, because a lot of people would invite him to do whatever, and he was comfortable where he was at. And that's a piece of advice that's always stuck with me. So now I entertain anything. I'm always cautious, but
Sure.
I feel like in business and in music, comfortability will shoot yourself in the foot. So anybody who wants to write with me, if I dig what they're doing, I'll be the first to set up the Zoom call or invite them to the house or go to them or whatever, because I enjoy the community of it. Like, I know, like, I'm not in Nashville, but I have some friends in Nashville, and like they all talk about, like, because they all know each other, and I'm like, I love that. I love that there's a network here where everybody knows each other and everybody can do whatever. And so I have a network, but it's not in one spot. I've just made friends all over the country, so it's but yeah, no. The short answer is yes. I'll write with anybody.
All right, good deal. I'm gonna hand it over to Gravy up there, down there, wherever he is.
Wherever I am. All right. So I want to know how you got started as far as how did you get into the position where, okay, I'm gonna do this full time, and I'm gonna start putting out my music, and I'm gonna start touring and playing shows. How did you kind of get to that point, and
so
what made you want to dive into it like that?
so when I was in high school, I was at this. It's almost like a vocational school, but in Greenville we have something called the Fine Arts Center. And the Fine Arts Center is like an arts vocational school. And so,
Okay.
like, you can take dance or theater or music, whatever. Well, there was an audio engineering class. So I took audio engineering and thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish I could go back now with the musical knowledge and the experience that I have now, because I really could, like, make the most of it. But so I thought I was going to go to college and be an audio engineer. I was like, I'll just be an audio engineer, play on the side, have fun, do whatever. Well, I went to college and 3 or 4 months, and I was like, oh fuck, I don't like this. I didn't like the, you know,
Hmm.
um, getting up and going to stupid classes and stuff like that. And so I called my dad. I was like, yo, once this year's over that I've already paid for, I'm not coming back here. He said, well, I probably figured that. He said, I said, okay. I said, well, he said, what are you going to do? And I said, so I'm going to play music. He goes, all right. He said, well, you're going to get a job too. And I'm glad he did. I'm glad he made me do that. I mean, because it allowed me to, do what I had to do. And so I worked that job for like 2.5 years and was playing music at night. So I'd work from, 7 to 2 or 3 o'clock because I was doing pest control. And then would go and play at night, drag my ass to work in the morning, because I was doing 9 to 1 slots on Wednesdays, and getting up at 6:15, 6:30 and going to work. But and then one day, it's like, so I was about the 2.5 year mark, and I told him, I was like, I've been saving up. I was like, I got, I said, I'm sitting on like, 7, 8 grand. I'd already bought a house at the time. I was like, I could pay my bills with this and do whatever. I said, I know that I could pay my bills roughly with this if nothing happened. Well, I was like, but I'm probably gonna give it another year and just keep saving money that way, because I think my goal at the time is, like I said, it's been 7 years now, 6, 7 years now. I think my goal at the time was, I want to have 15 grand. That was what I said. And well, after that, there was a guy there that he was a dick, and he worked for like corporate, and he basically pissed me off. Long story short, and he pissed me off on my dad because I worked for the same company my dad did, but he was a branch manager at another branch, so I didn't work for him. We just worked for the same company, so he knew the guy.
Right.
And I remember calling, going, I don't need this. I can make enough money playing music. I don't need this stupid job. I don't care what I do. And he goes, well, you gonna quit? And I was like, yeah, I am gonna quit. And so my boss was one of my dad's close friends, and so he called me in the office the next day because apparently my dad had told him, hey, this is probably gonna happen. And I said, look, we got a month and a half of busy season. I said, that's 4 more paychecks. I said, I'm not gonna screw you during busy season. I said, you got a month and a half to fill this route. I said, I'll keep it under my hat. We'll roll. And he goes, all right. And so October 2nd, was the day I walked in and handed him the keys to my truck, and that was October 2nd. If you're wondering, that was a great time to quit your job to play music. Beautiful time. But I'd had like 100 shows booked for the next year, something like that, and I think I ended up, because of COVID, ended up playing like 130 or something, like 130, 133, something like that. And I just didn't look back. I just kind of kept going, and here we are. And it just kind of kept expanding and expanding to more and more and more.
Were I know you were doing any kind of gig to pay the bills. I'm
Oh
sure
God,
at the
anything,
beginning.
anybody who would pay me to show up, I would show up. I would bitch, but I would show up.
That's the way I am with my employer. Period. Uh, we got a lot in common. Um, I mean, it might be under my breath, but I'm still saying something. Um, but as far as the original music, though, was that the goal from the get go? Not just to play covers. You know, I know you said you
Oh
didn't
yeah,
necessarily
I
start on the
definitely.
writing side, but that
Yeah,
you wanted to
no, I
do
mean,
originals.
I definitely have always loved playing 45-minute opening slots way more than I have sitting in the corner of a bar playing for 3 hours. Telling my stories, telling what I want to do.
Hmm.
And that's kind of why right now I'm kind of in a transitional period, where I'm kind of looking at other options with different stuff to try to make it to where, at least a third, if not half, is going to be just the original stuff, because that's what I'm really working towards. But original music doesn't pay really well, so you gotta figure out how to keep the bills paid. But yeah, so most definitely. But yeah, I love it. I love both of them for reasons. There's nights that I'm like, ah, man, this is really cool. These 20 people showed up and paid a ticket and are listening or whatever, and the room might be full. But then there's also nights where I'm in a small bar with a band, and there's 70 people packed in, and I'm walking across a bar singing Creed. Like it's a different high, it's a different animal. But they're
Hmm.
both fun. I mean, they're both great.
Especially with the band that you enjoy playing with. I think
Oh yeah,
that's
I mean, I play with my best friends. And so I mean, you just kind of we just all show up and just go.
understand. And that's a whole nother different. I've talked about that before on here. That's a whole nother different sense of pride when it's your homies too.
Oh yeah, oh
Well,
yeah,
we'll get to the halftime song in a minute, but I want to. I feel like we should talk about the because the halftime song of what it is. I feel like we should get to that before your connections
yeah.
with some of these people before we even play that song. When did you start getting these opening slots with folks? I mean, you've done shows with Ray Scott and Dallas Moore, and probably many, many more that I don't know about. But
One of the
do you,
one of, one of the coolest ones was Afro Man. I've opened for Afro Man. Um, I smoked weed with Afro Man too. That's a good
uh,
time.
Good on.
Um, so the opening stuff, it kind of piddled in starting a couple years ago, and then one of the main things what I started doing about the past 2 years, 2.5 years, is I started almost playing promoter. Um, so like, all right, with Ray Scott, for example, if you see me play a show with Ray Scott, it's probably because I booked it. And so, because what it was is I'll reach out and I'll say, hey, what do you charge a night? And they're like, $1,000 a night, whatever the hell it is. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll start calling venues and go, hey, you can have myself and Ray Scott for $1,500. And yeah, and just doing it that way. And then I mean, it's worked because I've done that with Ray Scott, with Dallas Moore, with Jason Michael Carroll. I'm trying to think of other people that I've done it with, and then just making friends with bar owners and with club promoters. One of my heroes, Will Oak, twice, and the first time I did, it was literally because I was friends with the talent buyer at Radio Room, and I had pestered him for years, and then I was like, can you just submit me to do it this year? Because he'd always be like, oh, he's got this going or he's got this, and I knew he was just waiting on me to be ready. And then I was in there one night. He goes, he said, you're on the show. He said, you're good. And so you just, making those connections, like with Afro Man, I played at a place called Tribble Bar, and it's a friend of mine's bar. And he literally was like, he called me on Saturday, and the show was on a Tuesday. And he goes, hey, he said, can you do 30 minutes of 90s bullshit and open for Afro Man? I was like, yeah, yes, I can. Don't worry. And so, but yeah, so I think a lot of it is just taking the initiative just to try to book myself on, and then it's just like being friends with people. Like I got the chance to play with Edwin McCain at the Charleston Music Hall, which is like 1,000-person theater, and that came about because I used to do his pest control. I did his for like 2.5 years, and then we connected on TikTok. We reconnected on TikTok, and I was like, and so he posted about that he was playing that show. So I texted him, I was like, yo, I said, I have that date open. I was like, can I come down and open the show? And he made a few phone calls, and I was on it. So I mean, some of it is done, is taking the initiative to book it yourself. The biggest piece of advice I can tell people is just ask. Figure out whose email, figure out who books the show, figure out whatever, and just be like, hey, this is me. This is where I want to play with them at. I mean, they're either going to say yes, say no, or ignore you. There's no other consequences to sending the email. But I think a lot of times people don't realize an opportunity is just an ask away.
That sounds like a good transition. You want to, Talbot, you want to take them into it? Explain the photo.
Absolutely. Maybe this would be best to have Jarret explain. So we're gonna play one of your songs, but can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So this song was written by Adam Hood and Will Hogue. I had the opportunity to play some shows with Adam last year. And just got to know him, and I was like, hey man, I was like, would really like to record one of your songs. And he's like, okay, which one? And then I told him, and he was like, okay, he's off that because he said, I got a bunch of demos of songs that I haven't released or I haven't put out yet, or I don't know if I'm gonna put out. I'll send them to you. I was like, all right, bet. I'm gonna get a damn file with a bunch of unreleased Adam Hood songs. This is gonna be sick, just from a fan perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I waited and I waited and I waited, and I texted him, I was like, hey man, are you still gonna send those? He's like, oh yeah, man. And then I waited and I waited and I waited, and I was like, oh hey bro, I'm going in the studio in 2 weeks. And he's like, oh hell. And then like I didn't want to pester him anymore. And I really love this song. Like I said, I got engaged last year, and she has a daughter who I've taken in as mine as well. And so it, for like the past two and a half years. And so this song is all about just literally just missing home because you're on the road. And so yeah, so I mean, when I heard it, I knew that was the one that I wanted to do. And I kind of have a thing where, like, if I'm going to record somebody else's song, I try to see if it's at least 10 years old. You don't want to, take something off their newest or whatever. Right. But this one had enough time in between to where I felt cold, and Adam gave me his blessing, and yeah, and so I just went and cut it, and it's one of my favorites on the album.
I think the 10-year rule is good. Like reaching out to Ella and be like, hey, I heard that song on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be the only one that I did that was fairly newer is I recorded Nobody from Ward Davis.
Oh,
But I did get permission to do. I did wait until he was halfway through a joint, but he did give me permission.
very cool.
But we did a
did it the
totally
right way.
different arrangement. We did a different arrangement of that one. But
Awesome.
yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go silent. Jarret, you and I are going to go silent. Hit that little button. It looks like a microphone, and Soul Gravy's going to play it for us.
I'm gonna throw a picture up too, Jared. So if you need to step away or whatever, you feel free to. All right, here we go. Oh, maybe. Oh man, what a rookie move that is. Hang on, take 2. Oh,
What is this, amateur hour?
the intern is. We're gonna have to have a talk. All right, take 2.
I don't know much more desolate than old Mississippi headed west. 3 more days and I'll turn around. Then I'll be Carolina bound. I-85 exit 63. Dinosaur staring in the driver's seat. And I made it all the way to Tennessee. By now you know that no wait for me. No postcards or paid telephones held me through the night. Something as simple as calling home never seems to work out right. Hardest part. What I do is missing you. Pittsburgh coffee in a hotel bed. 1,000 songs singing what's in my head. That don't mean that it ain't true. When it comes down to me and you, no postcards or paid telephones held me through the night. Something as simple as calling home never seems to work out right. Hardest part. What I do is missing you. You spend your married life living with a ghost. I spend every night missing little things the most. No postcards or paid telephones that held me through the night. Something as simple as calling home never seems to work out right. The hardest part of what I do is missing you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, great stuff. I feel like I've heard that one somewhere before.
So
I like the arrangement.
yeah. Real quick, super proud that we just released the episode with Will Hogue, episode 200, milestone episode. And I actually, that was one of the things I wanted to talk, like with Will, I didn't feel like doing a biography episode was as the same. You know what I mean? Will's
Yeah.
not old. He's just been around a little while.
Yep.
But I want, like, I'm a huge fan, so I wanted to ask about songs. You know, I wanted to ask questions I wanted to know about. So that was one of those. That was one of my things that I wanted to make sure that we talked about was that song and him and Hood writing that one. So that was a really cool, and hearing your take on it before we played it again, even though you didn't write the song, but the reason why that song means something to you is makes it mean something totally different while listening to it. So I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, I just love that song.
Yeah.
Also, if you're in watching online, we appreciate it. Hello to you on YouTube and Facebook. And if you happen to be watching online and you're in Livingston, Montana right now, you still have a couple of minutes to go out and see Will Hogue tonight because he's there. Ask me how I know.
And Eli Howard said shouted out in the chat too. So
Oh yeah, we're gonna see Eli.
I love Eli Howard.
yeah, he's going to be on eventually. So
Yeah,
Yep.
Eli Howard's only negative trait is he swears that a Gibson SG is worth a fuck, and that is the worst Gibson guitar ever made. That is not a Gibson SG is nothing but a Gibson SG is nothing but glorified firewood, and Eli Howard like to tell me that I'm wrong, but he plays guitar better than me, but still.
Well, we appreciate the material for Eli's interview that's coming up,
Exactly.
so we'll get into the SG on
Noted.
that for sure.
Right. What shit talk would you like to say about Jarret? We'll go from there. All right, noted right there. I got it. Okay.
We'll put the intern on that. And so I want to ask, because I know you got some killer shows coming up. Can you tell us about anything that you have going on?
Yeah, I know. In July, me and Dallas is taking me all pretty far up. Myself and Dallas Moore, we're doing. I want to say it's like New England, New Hampshire, New York City. Like we're going to be playing in Manhattan and Connecticut. That's going to be really cool. Then I'm going to be in Illinois with Ray Scott. I know in December. Oh yeah. Oh, like I'm just hoping because I'll be riding with Dallas, but I'm an explorer and I love New York City, and so I'm hoping that's one of those things where like we drive because Dallas is real big on like driving through the night to get somewhere. So I'm really hoping we drive through the night and then like just end up in New York City and crash, and then I can just get up early and then hop a subway and just go, and then be like, I'll meet you here 7:00. Love you, and just go. But yeah, no, got some really cool stuff coming up with those guys. They're always super sweet. I'm also doing a run with Addison Johnson in November as well that I'm really looking forward to.
That's a good pairing with you two.
The mixing of the Carolinas there.
Yeah, that's true.
Technically. That'll be fun. Are you a stock car racing fan?
Oh, yeah. Not really.
Okay.
But I will go. And so, I know he's real big into it. So
yeah, well, we'll give you something to talk about.
I'm a baseball and hockey guy.
Fair enough. It's the best time of the year, playoff hockey.
Yep, Addison's got new music dropping too. He's a homie of the podcast, so don't mind saying that. He's got, I think it's in June, so make sure y'all go pre-save all that stuff. He's good dude, pulling for him.
I want to say, I know his release shows are June 26th and 27th. That's all that.
I was thinking 24th is when it was dropping, so that makes sense.
I want to say, I think he had a single come out last week, but I'm not positive. But it feels
like that. He's got one called Flames.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's killer. It's a killer tune.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Are we ready to roll into some rapid fire soul gravy?
Yeah.
All right, let's hit it. So, Jarret, just off the top of your head on this, it's the more you think, the harder it gets.
That's
Jarret, what's your favorite chord?
I love just a solid G chord.
All right.
You can't beat it.
Yeah, that's a good answer. All right.
Okay. A
All
solid
right,
G.
hold on. All right. You get dinner with one historical figure. I was skipping through a couple that I decided not to ask.
Okay.
Dinner with one
Oh, now I want
historical
to know what
figure.
you were going to ask.
No, you don't. Dinner with one historical figure. Who are you going to break bread with? They can be dead or alive. They don't necessarily have to be a musician. It could be anybody.
This is going to be a weird one, and this is the first person that comes to mind. So I talked earlier about how I love like the music business.
Uh-huh.
I would love to sit down and meet and talk to Shep Gordon.
That's a good answer.
Shep Gordon, yeah. If you've never heard of Shep Gordon, he has been Alice Cooper's longtime manager. They've never had a contract. He's literally managed him since the early '70s off nothing but a handshake. He's the reason that we have celebrity chefs, because he's the person who developed the whole celebrity chef thing. Um, he's just an insane like visionary when it comes to marketing and how to, he was the guy who his idea was the truck to break down at Piccadilly Circus with Alice Cooper naked with a snake laying around him to get shows. And I think it would be really cool to sit down and have a conversation with him.
That's one of the best answers we've had on 200 plus episodes
Exactly.
of the podcast. Also, Soul Gravy got confused there for a second because he thought you meant Chef from South Park, which is confusing.
Whole
nother
about the
He'd be too.
Yeah.
chocolate
All right.
faulty balls.
That's right. I want to know what your favorite or what your ideal green room looks like. You've been in a few, so tell me what your ideal green room looks like.
A nice couch, a bunch of Coke Zero Cherry in a can. Blonde and a redhead always help.
There you go.
I mean, honestly, I'm cool if you have Wi-Fi and bottles of water. Like if you give me somewhere comfortable to sit, Wi-Fi and bottles of water, I'm as happy as can be.
I'll do the trick. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a solid answer. First concert you attended, and then the first concert that you paid your own money to go see.
The first concert I attended was my uncle took me to like a Christian rock show. I think the band was Jonah 33. I don't know why I know that, but I'm trying to think of the first concert I paid on my own to go to. I really couldn't tell you off the top of my head. And I mean, I've seen 10 to 15 concerts a year minimum, and I've done that since I was probably like 15. If I had to really guess, maybe American Aquarium.
No.
And that's a hard maybe, but I'm just gonna say American Aquarium because I've seen them more than any other band.
Great answer. Soul Gravy, get the intern on what episode that was that BJ was on.
Got it.
All right, thank you. Next question. Well, you could add your music to any soundtrack. It could be a TV show, movie. What song and what TV show / movie would you add it to? We do like to speak these things into existence too, because this one.
So I'm going to tell you one that I would love to do purely financial.
Okay.
Purely financial. Then I'll tell you like this will just be cool.
Yeah. So
purely financial. Anything that Taylor Sheridan does, because I know roughly what those checks look like. Because I have a friend who is from there. Yeah. And it's yeah. So from a finance standpoint, that one. If I had to pick something that I love, and I think a part of it is because it would make my dad super happy, and this is kind of a deterrent. But I have this really dumb song called "Lonely Bush Light." That it's a stupid song, and so I would love to see that song in like either a Busch Light commercial or like something to do with NASCAR, just because like I think it'd be funny to like put it all in. And I think my dad would think it was cool, and so that would be
Yeah,
the other one.
that's a great answer as well. When
Yeah,
I say
the second part is really the whole point of
it
why
is,
I come up with that question.
yes, that's Soul Gravy's question, by the way. He just lets me borrow it
Oh,
from
yeah.
time to time. When I say the words "sad song," what comes to your mind?
Perfection.
What song?
I think it's what song comes to my mind? I truly believe one of the saddest songs ever written is "Unfortunate Kind" by BJ Barham. Not American Aquarium, but it's on B1 solo record called "Unfortunate Kind," and it's all of but I mean BJ, any perfect sad songs. I mean between like "Waking Up the Echoes," or "The First Year" where he wrote about his
First
mom,
year.
like stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. Like I know where I was at when I heard "The First Year." Because I
Me
remember
too.
it so because it was during COVID and it was when BJ was doing like the $5 live streams, and I was dating a girl in Alabama who did not like country music at all, and we were laying in bed. I was like, hey, I was like, he does like an hour concert every night or every whatever it was. I said, will you watch it with me? She's like, you know what? Yeah. And so we were literally laid in bed, like cuddling, watching it on a nightstand. And he was like, I got this one that I wrote today, and she just bawled, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And like that's where I was
Got
at the
her.
first time I heard that song. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, well done.
So he was episode 67. BJ Barham, American
All right,
Aquarium, episode 67.
folks, if you want to learn
In
about,
person.
if you want to learn about BJ and American Aquarium and all the stuff, North Carolina State sports, you can go watch episode 67. So.
Mhm.
All right. Great job. That's the end of rapid fire. You did exceptionally well. Way better than Gravy did on the Why Are They Famous section.
And playing your song at halftime.
That's all right.
Way better on the production too.
You recovered.
Yeah.
But we're going to set you up for the last big question. Super excited to hear what your answer is. But
He did homework for this. I already know that he's studied for this question.
we appreciate studious types.
And BJ had I know your answer. You told me it was going to be a different one than the normal, and so was BJ's. So y'all go check that out at the end of episode 67. His was a discontinued one that he lobbied to bring back.
Unsuccessfully, too.
I'm not sure. There's so many. Little Debbie.
Now I'm sitting here trying to think of what he would. Now I'm trying to think of what he would say that's discontinued.
It was like a coconut ring sort of thing, like a reef sort of.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I know what that is. I've never had one, but I know exactly what that is.
All right, so we kind of gave the question away a little bit there, but it started on episode 1, and now it is still a requirement that we ask this question. So we need to know, or the world needs to know, what your favorite Little Debbie snack is.
It is the strawberry jelly cream pies.
Oh, that's a first.
Not the nasty ass cherry ones. Not the nasty cherry ones. The strawberry ones. And I'll eat a whole box, and it's not good. And a close and another one that I do love is Swiss rolls, but the jelly cream pie is one.
I believe the Swiss roll has made a run as of late. That started with Jason Eady with the Swiss rolls, and it's kind of made a run since then. I think people were watching that episode.
Well, as they are.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with anything that they have. Like, I'll sit there and eat anybody's. My fiance and kid love oatmeal cream pies. Like I eat them. It's just not my favorite, but like oatmeal cream pies and honey buns. Like, look at me. I'm thick. I'm not turning down anything. And I do want to say this for all the Little Debbie fans out there who glaze the fact that Christmas tree cakes are so great. It's a fucking zebra cake in a different shape. You can get them all year round. There's no difference. And everybody likes to act like they're different. They're not. It's the same chemical and color stuff, whatever. It's just a zebra cake.
They add the Christmas spirit in
Thank you.
October when they
I
make
approve
them.
this. Yeah. Yeah.
Cut and clip.
Strong statements. So when you run for office, we know what you're running on. We got
I
you.
like people that know
Oh
what they
yeah.
stand for.
Oh yeah. It's oh yeah.
Well, we sure do appreciate you making time for us this evening. You had some amazing answers to some pretty average questions. And yeah, we had a blast
to
getting to
put that.
chat with you. Folks, make sure you go and
Yes, sir.
follow our man wherever you steal music. When he has new music coming out, make sure you pre-save it. All that stuff is really important. We talk about it a lot, but we don't just do it because it's fun to say. We do it because it's important. So go find him on socials. Jarret, if you want to give out any of your socials or any places where folks can find out
Yeah.
about you.
Everything's pretty simple. It's just Jarret Forrester music everywhere. I mean, my band's called Forrester, but I just post everything under my page. But yeah, like you said, anywhere you get music, I tell everybody all the time, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, OnlyFans, we're everywhere. So you can find us.
All right.
And
Well,
go to a
we can save
show.
up some money.
Go to a show. That's
Buy a shirt.
yeah. Go to a show. Buy some merch and
Please.
yeah. Catch him in.
And you don't have an excuse. My man's out there playing 220 to 240 shows a year, so you can find him.
Exactly.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining tonight. We appreciate you all.
See ya.
See you tomorrow night.
All right. It was loading a little slow, so we'll see what it's doing now.